Hi guys, Joe here from Joe Personal Training with another episode of 5 Question Friday. So what we're going to be covering today then is, when you get fitter, is it more difficult to burn calories? What my view is on fasting. The best form of cardio when it comes to retaining strength and increasing your stamina. Calories burnt, so how it differs from one person to another and from one session to another. And lastly, we'll talk about cheat meals. So let's dive right in, guys. Question number one, that is, when you get fitter, is it more difficult to burn calories? That's the question from Carly. And in short, the answer is no. The reason for this then is, if we look at someone that runs 2 miles, okay? So the first time they run 2 miles, it's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard work. It's going to be taxing on the body. They're going to burn a lot of calories, okay? When they keep running 2 miles, so every week on week, for the coming weeks and months, that same 2 miles at the same pace, the same speed, is going to become easier. So the body's going to be working not having to work as hard. So the cardiovascular system's not working as hard. The muscles aren't working as hard. You're not going to be breathing as heavily as you were. Your recovery is going to be better, which means overall you're not going to need as much energy as you did when you very first run that 2 miles. So you're not going to burn as many calories. However, before I move on now, that is your body adapting to the stimulus, okay? Now, when it comes to training, you need stimulus, so progression is key. You need to increase the stimulus placed on the body to increase or keep your body progressing with regards to fitness and health, okay? So if you are progressing, then it won't be harder to burn calories. You'll just be working harder at another level. So it'll be one of those things that, like, if you went back and did the very first session you did when you started training like 6 months ago, you'd be like, wow, that was a great warm-up. But when you look at it, when you very first did that session was a killer, okay? It's just you've increased your fitness levels to another level, which means you're going to be burning the same, roughly. You'll still be burning as many calories to a degree, but you're going to be doing more work to achieve that. So it's not more difficult to burn the calories, but you'll be working harder. Okay, so moving on to question number 2 then. What are my views on fasting? Oh yeah. Okay, so I'm not going to be biased on anything in this. Fasting is great for some people. It's not great for others. Okay, for me personally, I couldn't do it because I love food, and when I'm hungry, all I think about is eating. Okay, if you restrict my food for hours on end, I'm going to be breaking necks and losing my cool. Okay, so for me, it wouldn't work. But I've got many clients that have done it. Natalie, who's asked this question, she did fasting as well, and it worked for her as well. She got some brilliant results. We'll put the results up here. So yes, it'll work well for some, but not for others. What fasting comes down to is a calorie restriction or calorie deficit. So you've got to have that calorie deficit, and by fasting, you're going to more easily create that deficit because you're reducing the amount of hours you've got you've got available to eat and to consume food in. When I say that, it's not a case of, okay, I've got 4 hours to eat now, I'm going to consume everything in sight. You should still keep an eye on it and track it and count your calories kind of thing. Make sure you're not overindulging and binging. But yes, it reduces the amount of time you've got to ingest your calories. So in theory, it's going to create a calorie deficit, or a better one than what you did previously. So that's my views on fasting. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's just one of those things. It's another tool in the arsenal for weight loss. Moving on. That was a very good. That was like I should be a politician or something. That was great. I avoided answering that, didn't I? Question number 3 then. You said running isn't the best for if you're carrying extra weight for joints and stuff. I did say that in a previous video. Is there any other form of cardio which is effective for stamina or for weight loss to add to your strength training, but not detrimental to your strength training? So this is a question from Jessica. The video I did previously, which touched on that a lot, was where I spoke about people that are like heavily overweight or obese, so they're carrying a lot of weight, and I said if they're looking for weight loss, then running wouldn't be my recommendation for them. There's many other forms of training that you can do which will have less impact on their joints, but you know, running does work. It creates it burns calories, so it can help create calorie deficit. form of cardio that's effective for stamina or weight loss to add to your strength training program, which isn't going to be detrimental to your strength training, then you're looking at something that's low impact. So, for example, swimming, which is brilliant for cardiovascular training and for strength training to a degree, because you're going to be working those muscles hard in the pool. And you've also got cycling. Cycling has shown some brilliant results in that way, but it does come down to your recovery. So if you're doing a long cycle, it's similar to if you did a long run. Okay, you need longer recovery time, which could impact on your training in the gym, so your strength training in particular. Yeah, so I would advise swimming because it's brilliant. You're not going to be in the pool for hours on end, especially when you start out. And likewise, I'd advise cycling because it's low impact on the joints, but it's brilliant for your cardiovascular system, so your stamina. Yes, it depends on what you mean. Like if you want stamina that's going to keep going for longer, then you're going to have to do long periods of time. Swimming, yeah, I'd definitely go for swimming over anything else then in that case. Question number 4. Calories burnt. Okay, this is a good question. It's a question from Louise. It's a 2-part question. Lovely. Calories burnt. Why do we burn more calories on some sessions than in others? Especially when sometimes we feel like we have worked harder, but not as much was burnt as other sessions. Also, when we are doing the same exercises, why do some people burn more than others? Okay, so let's start with the first part of that question then. Why do we burn more calories on some sessions than others? There's a lot of things at play there. Many variables that will affect how many calories you burn. It could be if you're feeling more fatigued, if you're tired, if you didn't sleep well, if you're stressed, if you haven't eaten as much, the time of day you've eaten, so the energy that you've got to use. You could have things on your mind. Yeah, there's a lot of things. Why do we burn more calories on some sessions than others? Yeah, well, it depends on how hard you work, really. In one session, you will find a lot harder than others. There'll be some exercises you'll think, okay, that wasn't so bad, I can do that for a lot longer. Then there's some other exercises, like if I put you on the air bike, for example, at full pelt, you'd only last a few seconds. Whereas if I put you on the rowing machine, as a steady state, you'd do a lot longer. Yeah, it's dependent on a lot of things. Yes. So, next part of the question then. Oh, it's not actually 2-part, it's like 3-part question. When sometimes we feel like we've worked harder but not as much was burnt as another session. Oh, yeah, I did technically touch on that then, didn't I? So yeah, you could find something more difficult than another thing. So one session more difficult than another. Yeah, you could be doing like 5 sets of 5. You could be going for your 10 rep max on, say, squat. So you're going to be doing short intervals on the weights as such, so a short burst of exercise of output with a long period of rest in between, because you're going for your 10 rep max weight on a bar. That will be freaking hard, but because the amount of time you're actually exercising for is very small, you're not going to burn as many calories as you would be if you were doing, say, a weight training circuit or something like that, which you could in theory find easier because you're lifting lighter weights, but you're just working for a lot longer. So yeah, that's that. The last part of that question then, when we are doing the same exercises, why do some people burn more than others? Well, simple answer is you're all different, you're all individuals, so everyone's body is different and works differently. For example, if I went into a session and I did the same exercises as one of the girls, then I would burn more calories than them, purely because I'm a man. And it's not a derogatory thing or a sexist comment, it's just males can burn calories a lot more efficiently than females. Or I'd be lifting a lot more resistance, I'd push myself a little harder maybe, or the other way round. You can't compare yourself to another person because they're different to you. This is where there's a bit of a stigma with the fitness industry and, well, everything really in life. You compare yourself to another person and you'll make that put you down. You'll put yourself down because you're not as good as that person. Some people can use it to their advantage. They'll be like, well, I want to be like that, so I'm going to push and strive to get as close to that as possible. But other people will be like, well, I'll never look like that, so I don't know why I'm pointing up here. There's nothing there. I'll never look like that, but so what's the point in trying? Okay, that's the stigma around comparing yourself to others. Now, it's the same with your calories. You're going to strive to burn as many calories as you want in that session, you're not going to strive to burn more than someone else, because what if they've got more calories to burn? If they've eaten more calories that day, they've got to push themselves harder because they want to create more of a balance with their calorie deficit, so their intake compared to the whatever it is. Yeah, I'm rabbiting on, guys. I'm rambling here. Basically, you're different people, okay? So don't compare yourself to other people no matter what it is, even calories burnt in a session, because you're different. You function differently, your bodies work differently, different ages, different metabolic rates, everything is different between one person and another. So, there. Question number 5, and this is, okay, this is going to be a good question. Certain coaches have said that you must always have a cheat day or / cheat meal, and certain coaches have said to eat whatever you want on a cheat day, because it speeds up your metabolism. Is this a myth or a fact? Is the reason for the cheat meal actually to speed up your metabolism after a week of dieting, or is it more the psychological benefits when dieting? All right, so this is a great thing, great question. A lot of coaches will use this as a way of selling their products, okay? Because if I had someone come in to me and I'm like, okay, we're going to follow this really strict plan, 7 days a week for like 4 weeks, you're not going to deviate off it, and it's just chicken, rice, and veg, okay? That is going to make that person be like, shit, no, I don't really fancy that crap. I got 3 kids in the house and a husband to feed. I don't really cook in different meals for them. And I like to enjoy my weekends. If I had someone come in here and I was like, okay, so 5 days a week, we're going to eat very strict, very controlled amount of calories. Then on the other 2 days, probably a Saturday and Sunday, you're going to binge your face off, no control. You don't need to count your calories. Just go for anything that's in sight. Even take the wrapper in if you need it. Just ingest everything you can get in your mouth. You're going to be like, well, that sounds like I could do that a lot better and a lot easier than the 7 days a week. So yeah, I'll go for that. So it's a great way for people to sell their product. The way it should work is you take the calorie intake that they need over the week to create a calorie deficit, then you divide it by 7, or you can divide it by 7, then take a little bit extra of 5 days or 6 days and add that extra onto 1 day or 2 days. Normally Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday, or just 1 day, or one meal. That will create what people refer to as a cheat meal. We call it a refeed meal or refeed day because cheat is freaking negative and we don't like using that. So whether or not it affects your metabolism, speeds up your metabolism by ingesting more, no, people talk about like shock theory and all this stuff. It's more of a psychological thing. So people are like, well, I've been really good all week. I've ate what my coaches told me to eat. Let's not even go down that road. So I can reward myself with food, just like a dog. All right. But yeah, if you're going to do cheat days, refer to them as refeed meals because it's positive, not negative. And you should still keep an eye on it, and you still need to account for the calories because you know when it's a cheat day, those calories still count. Those things can still make you fat. Yeah, it's not some magic thing where because you called it a cheat day, the calories will go in you and magically disappear out your anus. You still ingest them, you're still going to have those calories in your body. And if you're going out of your deficit, if your 7-day deficit has turned into a surplus of calories, then say goodbye to weight loss. If that coach is good, if the person that's advising a refeed, if they've got any sense about them, they will have worked it out and they'll be like, okay, so on these days you're going to hit say 1400 for Monday to Friday or Monday to Saturday, and on the Sunday you're going to have a little bit extra just to give yourself a bit of a wake-up call. But you tend to go really low and then you come up a little bit higher. You're still in a calorie deficit all throughout it. You just feel like you're replenishing those stores from the week. Okay, so yes, that's my thoughts on cheat days. And it's definitely a psychological thing. It definitely benefits you psychologically rather than metabolically. That's another story for another day. So that's 5 Question Friday, guys. Over and done with. If you have any questions you'd like me to answer, you don't have to be named in them. Just comment below or inbox us like most of these people have done. Okay, that's it. Have a nice weekend.